All right, you have got to do some stretching. You've got to loosen up that back side all the way up. So I'm gonna help you do some of that, okay? Now this is something you've got to do every morning, every night, without fail, all right? Otherwise your muscles are gonna get to, they're just gonna become stagnant. That's what muscles do when you do nothing. You spent your whole life working really hard and moving every day, and now you're sitting a lot, you're doing a lot of, because of knee problems or whatever, you're doing a lot of nothing, and your muscles are just going into entropy. They just stop functioning and they shrivel up. They lose their muscularity, they lose the fibers get tense and everything gets tight. So you got to do this. All right, so I'm going to start with, I've got a little, this is a rumble roller, but not going to use it like that. I'm just using it as something like you would have like a chair. You put your hand on a chair, on the back of a chair, on the bar, on something like that, and simply put your weight on the leg that's closest to the chair, and we're just going to swing back and forth. The way this looks is you're just swinging back and forth. You're not getting it way up there and way up here. You're just starting to swing it, but you are straightening out your leg. You're flexing your toes back, right? In that position rather than leaving them loose. Flex them back and work. You are pushing that way some, right? So we're starting to engage the glutes here, right? And we're just working that. Squeeze the butt, squeeze the butt, squeeze the butt, squeeze the butt. You're gonna feel this. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Now, change sides. We just go to the other side. Stand on this leg. Squeeze it, squeeze it. Don't forget to flex your toes back towards your face. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. You're gonna feel on that lower back into your butt. You're gonna feel this, right? The more loose you get, the bigger range of motion you can, but you don't need a whole lot right now. Now what we wanna do is we wanna bend over. This is the easiest hamstring stretch ever. So the idea here is you only go down as far as your knees can stay straight. So you lean over and you just hang, right? I'm not holding myself up, okay? But maybe you can only get over this far. You see how round my back is? I do want my back round because I'm stretching out my back as well. I'm stretching out and putting the focus on my lower back. I start to feel this. Let your body relax. That gravity pulls. Flex out those legs, right? You may have to come up a little bit to get those legs straight, but you don't want bent legs because as soon as you bend them, it takes the pressure off your hamstrings. You're no longer stretching your hamstring, right? So flex it and bend on down. Straight back and release the back. Straight back and release the back. You can feel that pulling on those hamstrings and glutes. Now, if you want to add a little something, okay, hang on. If you want to add a little something, add a little tiny bit of weight. I've got a 5-pound weight here. That is it, okay? So I'm simply going to let that go down, and what that does is it helps pull a little bit more. Flex the back and round the back. Flex the back straight and round the back. That 5 little pounds adds some pull. All right. Now, so far your legs have been, shoulder width apart, kind of together. You can play around with this and widen those legs out and do the same exact thing. Hanging on down, and straighten it up. Hang it on down. Okay, you can play around with your feet. That is going to change the way the muscle reacts. Now, next thing you're going to do, get your hips straight. Step one foot in front of the other. Lock out that front knee. Hinge at the waist. Here's what I mean. You're going to hinge at the waist, nice straight back. All that pressure is on the back of that front leg, right? The hamstring that's on the back of that front leg. You'll feel it. I don't want you to relax on this one. I want your upper body to be stiff and straight, and when you come up, you swap legs. Straighten your hips, okay? You don't want your hips, when you put one foot in front of the other, sometimes your hips widen out to the corner there, but I want you to be straight like this and hinge at the waist. One way to do this is to straighten up the back and keep looking forward. That way your shoulders are back. And hold it. Just let it sit there and stretch. No bouncing. All movements are very slow. And you're only going down so far that your knee does not bend. Once your knee bends, you know you've gone too far. And you just get right before it bends and you just hold. The idea is you're doing this every day, so you're going to be able to get deeper and deeper the more you do this. Okay? Also, make sure you're breathing. Those muscles have to get that oxygen. Come up. Okay? Yeah, you should be feeling that in your hamstrings. All right, we're going to be working on a stretch that you might have to work your way into. You might not be able to do this very well at first, but it's a good one for your glutes and your hamstrings. So you take a chair, something, usually it's 18 inches up. You put your foot on it. What you want to do is you want to put that foot on there and then move. You might have to have something you put your hand on, but you want to move that back foot back a little bit, or just simply move back from the chair and then lean forward into that stretch. Now what this, this is going to be based on how deep you can bend that knee, but it might help you bend that knee because now you've got your body weight bending that knee for you, right? And simply think about this as moving your pelvis towards your front ankle. You want to sort of just get deep into that. You're going to feel this on the back side. You're also going to feel this in your hip flexor, which is the front of your hip right by your groin on the other side. Right? And simply lean into that as much as you can. And hold. Now you might be only able to get right here. That's fine. Just hold that, but you're constantly pushing pressure, your pelvis toward that chair. So you're sinking into it. You're not doing this. You're not leaning your front over. You're keeping your chest up and you're pushing your pelvis forward. That's going to bend your knee just a little bit more. All right. And then you change legs. Again, this might be one that takes you a while to get to, but it's a good one. Same thing. I'm going to push my pelvis into there. You're going to feel this right on the front here, right, which is tight usually, right? But you do want to feel this on the back of that hamstring and glute as well. And it may help you with mobility in your knee. Straighten it out. Go back into it. Straighten it out. Maybe do some of those, 10, 15 reps of that, and then hold. So you do want to have some times where you hold on that. That's another good stretch. All right, now I'm going to show you how to do some stretches for the glutes and the hamstrings again. There's a lot of stretches you need for this, and since you're really tight with these, it's good. You got to get yourself into a chair. And you might start with your back up against the back, but basically you got to pull that leg up, right, and get it across the leg like that. Okay. Then the idea is you want to scoot your butt back and you want to lean forward, right? Even if you use this foot or this ankle as a pull point, you can pull and lean forward. You're going to feel it on that back glute. Right? Stretching the butt, hamstring connection. Right there. And just hold. And you're kind of applying pressure to pull that foot this way. It's not going to feel real good at first, but work your way into it. Start small. You might can only get here, but start small. Apply pressure with your arms, right? Use those biceps and pull that leg in. Lean over, maybe release your foot and lean over and let your body weight pull against that muscle, right? And then you want to work your way to the other one, right? You want to get this as flat across here as you can. You might even do a few things like pull on your foot, push on your knee. I don't know if you can even do that with your knee right now, but basically there's your pull point. Lean forward into it or pull that back. Or a combination of both, pulling and leaning forward. You're definitely going to feel this in your glute right back there. From there, after you do this for a few minutes, from there, you can go to the front of your chair, scoot your butt up on the front of your chair, straighten out those legs, right? Hands in the middle. You want to lean forward, keep those knees straight, even if you put your hands on your knees. That might be what you need to do. As you lean forward, you can apply pressure to your knees, but basically you want to try to lean forward, get your hands, fingertips, all the way down to the floor. That might take you a little while to do. The other thing you need to do is when your heels are on the floor, the heel is the only thing touching, and you need to pull your toe back towards you. You don't want your heel to be on the floor and your toes to, as you lean forward, the tendency is to just relax your foot, and that's going to push your toes down. You want to have your heels on the floor and your toes pointed back at your face, right? As you lean forward, that's going to keep the back of that muscle all tight so you can stretch it good. If you can put your hands on your ankles, on your calves, and you can apply a little bit of a pull. But right now, you probably just need to work with body weight. Body weight leaning forward, right? And stretching. Feel this on your hamstrings. Fingertips going down to the floor. You need to work your way down to the floor. If you can't touch the floor, you need to work your way down there and get there, right? If you can't get down there, you might need to apply a little pull. Grab the end of your toes and pull just slightly and hold. Don't forget to breathe. You can work with going both hands over to one side and lean into it. That might help you lean a little bit more. Again, I've got my toes pointed back at me. I might be even pulling on my toes or have my hand on my toes, have my hand on my ankle, have the hand on the back of my calf so I can pull, right? I can use this hand, put it on my kneecap, and actually apply a little bit of pressure down, right? Keep that knee straight, keep it from bouncing up, right? And we go to the other side. All right, all this is just, butt is on the end of your chair. You don't want to fall off, but like my camera, All right, so keep it going. You're there. All right. So you can work on this one while you're watching TV. I mean, this one you can really do for a good 5 minutes and get both sides. All right. So you can really move from side to side. You notice you'll feel this in your back stretch. You might want to go ahead and take the opportunity to stretch out that side as you're leaning. Just kind of lean over. Stretch out those muscles along there. Do everything all at once. Kind of hard to breathe in this position, so just work your way through it. Hang down. Okay.